So, let's talk about one of the most insane trading stories you'll ever hear. It's the story of Steven Dux, a trader whose results are, well, frankly, they're almost unbelievable. But what's even crazier is the mindset that got him there. All right, let's get into it. It all started right here, with $27,000. I mean, it's a decent chunk of change, sure, but it's not the kind of money you'd think could launch someone into the financial stratosphere. But in just a handful of years, using a super specific and incredibly disciplined approach, that initial stake turned into something else entirely. This. Over $50 million. And get this, in one single month, he pulled in $20 million. It's a number so huge it sounds made up. Which, brings up the big question, how is that even possible? To really get it, we have to look past the money and dig into the psychology, because the very first thing Dux teaches is completely backward from what you'd expect. It's a paradox that kind of explains why most traders just fail. You heard that right. The guy who made a fortune is saying that the single worst thing that can happen to a new trader is a massive, life-changing win. I know, it sounds nuts, right? But he argues that's the exact moment an aspiring trader turns into a gambler. He actually has a name for it, the winner's curse. That giant early win gives you this emotional high, this dangerous feeling that you're invincible. And that feeling, it's a feedback loop that almost always leads straight to ruin. And this chart, wow, it lays it all out. Dux says that of the students he's taught, a staggering 90% of them become gamblers the second they hit it big. They start chasing that first high, they break all their rules, and poof, they blow up their accounts. Only a tiny, tiny fraction ever make it. So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The whole point is to win, but winning is the trap that can destroy you. Dux's entire career has been about solving this puzzle, and it all starts with literally rewiring your own brain. His first secret is to treat trading as an anti-human nature game. What does that mean? It means you have to actively fight your own gut instincts, the greed, the fear of missing out, that amazing feeling you get when you win big. You have to fight it all. I love this slide because it shows just how backward his thinking is. On the left, you've got what pretty much everyone does: study their wins, get aggressive. But on the right, that's the Dux playbook. He obsesses over losses. He pulls back after a mistake. But the most powerful trick is what he does with his biggest wins. This right here, this is his psychological masterstroke. Let's say he makes a huge profit on a trade. He immediately pulls 80% of that cash out. Then, and this is the genius part, he tricks his brain. He tells himself he just lost that 80%. It totally hijacks that dopamine feedback loop, replacing that feeling of, I'm a genius, with a healthy dose of caution. So let that sink in. It's not just about being smart and taking profits off the table. It's a mental reframing technique. It's a hack designed to keep his ego from running the show and making sure that one huge win doesn't lead to a catastrophic loss on the very next trade. But, psychology is only half the story. All that mental discipline has to be built on a foundation of cold, hard data. And remember, Dux was an engineering major. So he attacks the market like an engineer building a machine. He focuses on all the ways it can break. For Dux, a trading strategy is only real if it's based on statistics. Statistics that take advantage of predictable patterns in how we all act. He doesn't care about gut feelings or fancy indicators. He just wants to know, statistically, how is a crowd going to react when the pressure is on? And this is what that systematic approach looks like. This is his strict, non-negotiable checklist. He's hunting for very specific things. Stocks that are already way up for the day, with tons of trading volume before the market even opens. He's looking at smaller companies, and notice that last one? He completely avoids biotech stocks. Why? His data told him they were just too unpredictable. He's also a total specialist. Look at this. Almost everything he does is short selling, which is basically betting that a stock's price will go down. And again, why? It's not a gut feeling. His data just showed him that for the type of stocks he trades, shorting has a way higher statistical win rate. He just follows the numbers. It's the classic debate in finance, right? Is trading all about intuition and having a feel for the market? Or is it about formulas and data? For Dux, there is no debate. It's a science of probabilities, period. Every single decision, which stock to trade, where to get in, where to get out, it's all governed by his statistical model. He's tried to remove his own opinion from the equation as much as humanly possible. So, when you combine these two things, the psychological hacks that go against our human nature and this rigid, data driven system, that's when you get the mindset of a true outlier, the 1%. Think about this. To keep his ego from exploding after that $20 million month, Dux actually built a calculator. It tracks what a perfect trader would have made on his exact same setups. He measures himself against this impossible, perfect ideal, not just his bank account. And he says he usually only hits about 30% of his perfect potential, which keeps him humble and always pushing to get better. So, let's tie this all together. What are the core components here? First, you have to actively fight your own instincts. It's an anti-human nature game. Second, you have to fall in love with the process itself, not just the money. Third, your number one goal is just to survive. Stay in the game long enough to actually learn. And finally, you have to disown your lucky wins. Dux believes any money you make that wasn't part of your plan, you're guaranteed to lose it later. And this quote, it just gets right to the heart of it. Underneath all the systems and the psychology hacks, there's a genuine passion for the challenge. For the top 1%, it's not just about getting rich. It's about mastering this incredibly complex and competitive game. In the end, Dux's story forces us to ask a really powerful question, one that goes way beyond trading. In whatever you're doing, especially when the stakes are high, are you just relying on emotion and luck, just placing bets? Or are you meticulously building a system that's designed to win over the long haul?